Hello guys and welcome back to the STPL. My name is Kix. Huge thank you of course to Jenna for just donating 20 subs to various people in the chat. Hopefully if you've just taken the subscription from her, you've got the cool Lottie emote. She is my cat. She obviously sits behind me a lot. She's actually asleep at the moment, so you can now use that across all of Twitch. And you can spam the love of my cat all over the place, so it's all good. But yeah, so we're going to be heading into our second series of today, which are going to be FBW versus NaS, and it should be a cool one.
Yes, it should actually be pretty good. FBW has really had a kick-ass season. I think that it's about as good a season as you could hope for. Now, obviously, they have some esports mercenaries working for them, and you'll get a chance to see one of those to start things out. I'll spoil it just because Kix is working on other stuff, but yep. eOnzErG is going to be kicking into high gear here, and for NaS, and he's going to be taking on Lumire from Foreign Brugor. Now, normally you would see eOnzErG and say, well, wasn't he the guy that made it to BSL 5 finals? And you would be right. But because Lumire was not there, they've had the opportunity to, how am I going to spin this? Save up hidden secret strategies and study more of eOnzErG's games. And so clearly that will make him more vulnerable to their evil machinations. Those things.
That's a cool word. What does that word mean? Just saying?
Doings.
Oh, doings, okay.
Designs.
So let me get this straight. Machinations.
Machinations, like machines. Like
okay.
Ideally it's like what the machines are doing. It's like they're machinating. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, we've actually I'm about to show this off finally. All this there. But basically, we've got some really, really cool matchups coming today, so I'm really looking forward to seeing this one. Just to quickly have a look at our teams to start us off here. We're going to have FBW on the left. They are only 6 wins so far because they actually renamed themselves and came back as a different team twice. So they did that in round 1. Round 2, they became 9th team. Then round 3, they became FBW again. But NaS have been killing it the whole way through. They made it in very closely to the playoffs in round 2. They actually came 5th, I think, overall it was. So that's a little bit unfortunate for them. But they look like they're making their way through this time. Just to quickly bring up the ranking table as well for Group B, just in case you haven't seen it. It's not Group B, it's Group A. NaS are actually at the top, 5 for 1 for them. An insane job so far. FBW very close behind them on 5 for 1 as well. And that White Clan, who historically have won round 1 and round 2, are actually in 3rd position, out of contention at the moment at the beginning of week 7 for the title. But if NaS or FBW get a very strong win here, like if they get 4-0, all of a sudden White Clan have a chance to still make it into the playoffs. And that's even media as well. That's how close this group is.
Now, I would say that, while it might be surprising to see NaS and FBW up at the front, well, FBW specifically, it's even more surprising to see White Clan in 3rd. Now, I mean, they have great players on their roster, but they don't field their best players every week. So you never know who really to expect to show up from them. So, wait, why are there 2... oh, this is showing week-to-week progression. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
This is basically the match history of the team. So, previously, NaS have played White Clan. They lost the first time they played, and the second time they met, they won 3 for 1. Obviously, that's White Clan. FBW, NaS haven't actually met this season, and last round, I don't even think they met there either. So, it's going to be cool to see these teams coming up against each other.
So I thought they were like up and down, like the team on the top played the team on the bottom, and then I get to White Clan playing itself, and I'm like, wait a second, it's side to side. This is one of those like, there's a subreddit for this called Open and Dead Cat Inside or something like that, where it's like signs that you read the wrong way because they were designed poorly. Yeah. But I figured it out in the end. Just like I figured out who these players were a little bit earlier, and I think their win records kind of precede them. It's like, wow, Lumire's got an 83% win ratio, 5-1. That's amazing. And then you look over at eOnzErG, it's like, oh, by the way, he's actually just insane. He's got 90% win ratio. Hard to root against it.
Also, Hazard-E, the red logo isn't blurry, it's pixelated. I censored it, and I thought it made it funnier. When I was censoring it, I actually laughed a little bit more than I thought I would, because I'm very childish. But, I mean, ZVZ, Lumire won his only ZVZ, eOnzErG has won his 4 ZVZs that he's played. He's actually played against Machine, Dates, Darkish, and Spy for White. Absolutely dominated every single one of them. And I mean, he beat True Touch in the STPL Christmas Cup as well. eOnzErG on the top, on the cusp of being the best foreign player, if not the best foreign Zerg at least in this period. They're going to be moving in a ZVZ on to Icarus. Now, Icarus going to be our first map here, very, very standard. We saw it in a ZVZ in the previous matchup as well. We saw True Touch versus Yaj. Now that was ended very quickly by Zerglings. It wouldn't surprise me to see that again, but depending on the spawn positions, we could see a difference in how the game's played. Obviously, if you spawn at 3 and your opponent spawns at 6, you've got much easier access to their mineral line, and so as you have on 9 and 12 as well. So really looking forward to see how Lumire does against eOnzErG here. Lumire, a very, very strong North American Zerg. eOnzErG, of course, a very strong Belgian Zerg as well. So let's get into game number 1. It's Lumire versus eOnzErG on Icarus. And starting us off here in the 6 o'clock position, we do have the, what was I going to say? The White Zerg fighting for NaS. It's going to be eOnzErG.
And his opponent in the yellow at the 8 o'clock location. This is Lumire, of course, playing for Foreign Brood War, FBW, ZVZs. Anything can happen. Hold on. Anything except me remembering to change the latency. So there you go, Kix. Got it. I think.
Yep, it seems to be fine. I somehow managed to not press the top overlay button, so I was just quickly sorting that. One of the things about the STPL, obviously, the past 9 months we've been doing it now. I know I started doing it a little bit before you joined, but then you even came to my house as well and we casted here. So it's been a bit of a crazy journey. This is a new version of the overlay. Things are a little bit iffy at the moment while I try and get everything fixed, ready for the playoffs next week. So if there is any problems, they'll be ironed out incredibly quickly, and I'm really looking forward to when I can show off the new video content I made for round 4. But either way, I hope you like it. One of the things I've always tried to pride myself in is making the best possible overlay, and it's not always been the easiest thing to do, but I'm definitely getting better. And I mean, it's really just fun to see all these games as well. So Lumire or eOnzErG even going for a 9 pull. He actually went for a gas first in CVZ, so going to be seeing either a very quick layout or very quick speed. Whereas Lumire going for a little bit of a later pull and is going to get a later gas as well, but we're not going to see any kind of 12 patch shenanigans or anything too crazy like that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you pointed that out. It's not going to be like our first CVZ that we had in our earlier series, where we had both players go for some variation of 12 hatch, something along those lines. There's early hatcheries, and then there's Zerglings show up, and it's like, oh, wait, it's exact same build. So also the spawning locations are deceptively close here on this map. It's not as close as it looks by ground. You can't just run straight across there, but you do have to keep an eye on that, because obviously if you're trying to go for a hatchery like Lumire is, and it's unscouted, you know, you do actually have to put the work into getting either ground or air units over there to see that. And so for now, it is unscouted for Lumire, whereas eOnzErG is already on his way to lair, halfway done.
Yeah, now, this hatchery is going to be a little bit of a problem. eOnzErG very, very strong with his Link Micro. I'd say if there's one thing you could define eOnzErG by as a player, it's definitely his micro. In terms of the pro level, obviously historically there's been players like Jadong who've been very, very good with Link Micro as well. But eOnzErG is definitely one of the more aggressive players. I know there used to be a joke that I used to make with Sale of like, oh, it's an eOnzErG game, it's going to end within 5 minutes, it's fine. But eOnzErG can definitely play macro when he wants to, but he's just really good at finding those openings and just exploiting them. And that's why games with him always look so polarizing. But it looks like Eon is going to try and take down this hatchery the best he can. Lumire coming in, trying to do the Zergling dance to try and push the Lings away from the hatchery, but he doesn't want to move too far the wrong way, or eOnzErG is going to be able to jump in and get in his main. Now Speed has finished for eOnzErG, Speed not done for Lumire just yet, very close to finishing though I would believe, but eOnzErG getting such a good engagement already.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. We gotta call this EVZ. Like, there's JVZ, which is Jadong versus Zerg, because in a matchup that's so volatile, he just wins every game. But with eOnzErG, it kind of seems like the same way. So I'm just going to go ahead and coin that term right now, because it just doesn't look fair. I mean, maybe you can say, hey, this is what happens when you go 9 pool versus 12 hatch. But it's a lot more complicated than that. eOnzErG is actually a badass, and he wins this game in under 4 minutes, almost exactly like you said, Kicks, when you were talking about you talking to that imaginary caster.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but you know what? Here we go. eOnzErG taking another very quick win against Lumire. Lumire, unfortunately, not having the best start for FBW. That is, of course, only game number 1. And we're going to be getting into game number 2, which I think, if I was going to say there was like a highlight match for today, it's going to be this one. It's going to be the long-term rivalry, Sugo versus TT1, when we get back after this.